Kamaru Usman came out and said that he's thinking about moving to 205, to light heavyweight, and fight someone there. And let's just think about it for a second, because there couldn't be a bigger mistake for someone who is ranked number one pound for pound at the time. We know that he's not gonna fight Israel Adesanya for the double title, because to him it's more, it's more valuable if two Nigerians hold the title rather than one Nigerian holds two titles. So as a way to basically get, across this, Kamaru Usman said he's thinking about basically skipping the entire division that is already above him and jumping all the way to the light heavyweight. And to be honest, Kamaru Usman is a big guy. He's ripped at welterweight and he's big at welterweight. But jumping all the way to the light heavyweight is a joke. I mean, if he jumped to the middleweight and dominated everyone there, then we could have this discussion. But he didn't even fight in the middleweight. And I think there are guys who are big in middleweight. Like Mario Vettori. I think Mario Vettori could stand in there with Kamaru Usman. And now we're talking about 205 light heavyweights. Those guys are big killers. There is a reason there are weight classes. The frames are different. The people can absorb heavier punches. There is freaking Magomed Ankalaev. He's not getting knocked out by Kamaru Usman. Kamaru Usman is finishing people in welterweight. But we are talking about light heavyweight. We are talking about people, like Jan Blachowicz. We are talking about the hugest people. And just to give you an example, let's look when Israel Adesanya moved to light heavyweight. And Israel Adesanya is a big middleweight. First of all, Israel Adesanya is a big middleweight even though he's skinny, right? But he's tall and lanky. And he moved to light heavyweight, and we've seen his fight against Blachowicz. And the size difference was there. But it's but Israel is skinny and he has, issues of gaining the weight. It doesn't matter. Even if he gained weight, Jan Blachowicz had a bigger frame. And when in the third and fourth round, Jan Blachowicz decided hey, fuck this stand-up, I will just wrestle him. There was nothing that Israel Adesanya could do. And even though Kamaru Usman is a better wrestler, if Jan Blachowicz decides, or even if Glover Teixeira decides to impose his will on Kamaru Usman, he will have issues. Even though he's strong and he's knocking everybody else out in welterweight, we are talking about light heavyweight. Those guys are big. Those guys are all taller than Kamaru Usman. Literally everybody is taller than Kamaru Usman in the top 5 of light heavyweights. Everybody has a bigger reach and everybody has a bigger frame. But you can be Kamaru Usman, has much better wrestler than most of them. Yeah, maybe if you put Kamaru Usman against Alexander Rakic, then you can make the argument he can take him down, he could submit him. But still, those guys are big. So if they just learn some heavy, takedown defense and don't ignore it at all and prepare like they would prepare for a championship fight, I believe they can cause a lot of trouble to Kamaru Usman. And I don't really like this move at all. However, there is a flip side to the story. And that if Kamaru Usman actually moves to 205, I would watch it out of curiosity. And if he wins there, holy shit, can you imagine? Can you imagine if Kamaru Usman can fight for a title in 205? And can you imagine if Jiří Procházka beats Glover Teixeira and we get Czech Samurai versus Nigerian Nightmare? That fight, holy shit, I'm just speculating about that fight, could be out of proportions. So, what do you guys think? Do you think this move is wise at all? Or do you think that UFC maybe should offer a lot of money to Usman and Adesanya so we can see, this great Nigerian civil war? And imagine if the UFC's first fight in Africa would be Adesanya versus Usman. I think maybe not. Maybe both of them at the same card. That would be great. So what do you think? should Usman move to 205, or should he first try that, in the middleweight? Even though I don't see Adesanya lose anytime soon. But if you have to speculate, let's say Pereira beats Sean Strickland, calls out Adesanya, beats Adesanya, Kamaru Usman moves up to middleweight to avenge his brother's loss. Guys, but that's a huge speculation, and that's for the future. Currently, what do you think? Should Usman move to 205? I think it's a bad idea, but I think he's just speaking out of his ass. What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments below, and I will see you next time. Cheers.